So we're also gonna have to talk about this guy Steven on Instagram. Steven inserted himself into this situation, and we're gonna go through the messages and lack thereof. I already have the other screenshot, and Steven is the admin in relevant groups, also is a leader in Fire Mecha, and I will show that screenshot as well. So I'm just going to briefly go over the messages with this guy who, just to be clear, knew about everything and chose to do nothing. Stephen knew about the gun threats. Stephen came to me to ask me what was going on, acting as if he was someone that I could talk to, and acting as if he was someone who basically cared, was concerned. Really, he was just doing information gathering because when I showed him the gun threats, he said, "Oh shit, I don't want to have anything to do with this." Okay? So, and we're going to show a bunch of his posts here as well. I told you guys that this was just the beginning. And some of y'all have dropped off, but you don't even know. We have a lot more people to cover. So, this is Steven. So I already have the screenshots of the Facebook messages, which are a lot shorter than this. But the Facebook messages are just me reaching out asking for help, and the story with those is he just ignored me. Steven posts on Facebook basically every day. We were friends on Facebook. He posts on Facebook basically every day. I would say he's almost like chronically online. Leaves my messages unread when I'm asking for help. This is a guy that I met in person multiple times, helped him do a barbecue, and acts like he wants to build the better world. Then when I show him the gun threats, he's like, "Oh, I'm basically impotent and good luck with that, and I'm not in charge of anything." But anyone who's met this guy knows that he controls many of these groups, and he's listed as a Fire Mecha leader. So this video won't show those screenshots, but the next one will. Okay, so this is Steven, Instagram. Steven tagged me in something, and I just said I don't want to be tagged. I'm definitely happy to chat with you over a Zoom call or next time I see you in person. I don't want to get in this online stuff. Don't tag me. I say, and this was Stephen already knew about the gun threats at this point. And he's saying, I don't know, I don't think, I see the tag, but I'll check it out, see if, I'd rather tag you than DM you, and I was just being lazy. I send some kind of thing probably about everybody that knows me. I would much rather have voice communication than texting and whatever. This is me saying, still I'm looking for some help. He knew this. I didn't know what to do, and like, I thought we were friends more. I had been to this guy's house before. I wouldn't say we were like good friends, but we were friends. We were more than acquaintances. Was my understanding. Still looking for some help. And now he's playing dumb. What is your question? As if he doesn't know what's going on. Here I explain, the what Corinne did, that Corinne did this stuff to other people. You know about it, and we can't protect abusive people. And at this point, I'm saying, can you mediate this for me? Can we get an apology? I'd like to know she won't threaten me in the future, or like maybe this is to protect other people in the future. Um, I'd like a statement that she won't share my home address on the internet again. Remember, I'd already been doxxed, um, and Stephen knew all of this. I'd like to get back to the hobby that I love doing. Let's get a mediator. Let's get a mediator. I reiterate, posted my home address to 60,000 people on the internet. Stephen, now please, he says, please don't put me in the middle of this. All I do is help maintain Facebook groups. This is not true. Stephen approached me twice in person, came and found me in person at another group that I go to, went out of his way to go there so that after the group he could pull me aside and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about the situation. Now that I'm actually asking for help, so he was just doing information gathering. Now here that I'm actually asking for help, he's like, no, 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 no. I'm not a community leader. All I do is help maintain Facebook groups. This is not true because he does have admin power and he goes around acting like he is in charge. Go on those groups, and we're gonna talk about all of these groups. He says, don't put me in the middle of this. Please don't put. He already put himself. He's the one who originally approached me twice. So I say, I can't put you in the middle of this. I'm asking for help. He says, I'm not a community leader. I say, do you know any community leaders? See, and here's why I'm telling you, dude, when you asked me for information a few weeks ago at Acro, you did tell me sometimes you have had to be involved in mediation and you wanted to hear my side of the story. He said that unfortunately, there are times where they've had to blacklist people, like very rare, from these groups, and he's been involved in that. And he even said to me in person, you know, um, like, yeah, I've been involved in mediate. This was not in the text, but he said, I've been involved in mediation. I'm hoping we don't have to go there. And so we do have to go there. I'm asking him for help. Corinne shared my home address on the internet. She's still in these Facebook groups. He puts other people at risk. There's nothing stopping her from doing this again. And the people in charge, like Stephen, don't want to do anything. And we're going to look at his connection to Fire Mecca in a moment. And this guy, kid you not, he's trying to start a community garden. He has a completely separate Facebook page that uses his dream is to start this community garden. Well, what happens when someone gets assaulted and threatened in your community garden? You're just going to say, "Oh, sorry, I just run a community garden. I don't want to be involved in that." Like, how pathetic. So, just so you know, Steven's all around. He runs all these Facebook pages. If you get assaulted, you go to him, he's going to say, I want nothing to do with this. Pathetic. And because he won't tell anybody else, he won't do anything. And we're going to cover everybody else that knows about this, by the way. And the messages I've had with them asking for help. So this is one. This is like tip of the spear. So I'm asking here for, do you know any community leaders? He's not a community leader. Do you know any community leaders? Now, also, I'll just point out, he responds here. I said, I'm asking for help. Do you know any community leaders? He's online. Now he's gone. He doesn't answer. So then, probably a couple hours later, I said, you did tell me, you wanted to hear my side of the story. Though this was the next day, he goes, I haven't. Now he backs off from communicating. I haven't had my morning coffee yet. I don't want to think about OPP today. I don't know what that is. Some people say OPP is the police. I don't know what he means. I don't want to, I don't want, okay. I'm saying, I understand you are not the person, he said. I am not a leader. I don't want to be in the middle of this. Okay, fine. I understand you are not the person. Please, can you tell me who is the person who's a community leader when you get a chance? Maybe a ranger you know. This guy goes to Burning Man. Just see the connection. We're going to talk about other Burning Man people that are connected to this, by the way. I told you guys, I've only covered like 60% of this so far. This guy goes to Burning Man. He'll probably invite you to Burning Man if you meet him. When I say maybe a ranger, he knows rangers. So now, and look, I covered the ranger handbook, okay? Rangers, there's no requirement, but generally, you're taught to, do what's called rangerly behavior. Also, there's a lot of people who are in and around Burning Man that are like, look, man, if you go to Burning Man and then you aren't motivated to basically live the principles like immediacy and community and you know, you know, all these 10 principles, 11 principles of Burning Man, consent, etc. If you're not motivated to do these things, after your experiences at Burning Man, I don't know if you're doing it right. I know a lot of people that they're like, yeah, Burning Man, we do the principles, and when we come back to the default world, I mean, we do our best to live these principles in our everyday life. It's hard, but so I know he knows what a ranger is. He's already talked to me about mediation and helping, and now that I'm asking for help more directly, he's like, no, no, no. Rangers are people who try to help with intercommunity disputes. Okay? They can do mediation. I have done rangering. Point here is not to get into that, but he knows what this is. He goes, this is default. We don't have rangers. Okay. Yeah, but you've gone to Burning Man how many years? You must know a single ranger who can help with this. You're dealing with burners here. Now he's acting like I don't have anything to do with Burning Man. Total impotently moving away from any sense of responsibility. Yet this guy's listed as a leader on Fire Mecca. Okay, what is going on at Fire Mecca? Protecting abusers. So I say, do you know any rangers? If not, are there any leaders? Third time I'm asking, do you know any leaders? Do you know anyone who can help? Who do I talk to about a safety concern in the group? Who do I talk to about a safety concern? He just ignores me. So, no answer. Who do I talk to? I need help. Ignores me. Then he sends me 2 days later, he sends me this thing on climate change, completely ignoring me. So, anyways, talk about my chiropractor. I'm like, look, dude, you want to talk about this? I'd rather have a conversation in person, essentially. This stuff about the hurricanes, whatever. I don't, just change the topic. That your friend has a a person in the community has a safety concern, which he knows about. He already saw the video of the gun threats, and He knows all the details. I've told him multiple times this crazy lady shared my address. She's in the groups. She's right. And he's just going to go, "Oh, let's talk about I'd rather talk about climate change." So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this guy needs you to play along with him a little bit more before we can talk about fucking like safety concerns in your group. And uh, wants to talk more about that. Okay, we're talking. Here we are talking about this climate change stuff. Okay, and then finally, I write who. So then some time goes by, 3 weeks go by. I send him again. Now I've seen this guy in person since then. Okay, admin on these groups, posts chronically online. I say 3 weeks later, hello, you never answered my question. Who do I talk to about a safety concern? I have messaged you on Facebook, by the way. Left on red gives zero craps about a safety concern in the community, but he posts the majority of the stuff. I'm going to talk about these groups coming up. If you're in any of these groups, just know if you are assaulted, the people who look like they run these groups will do absolutely nothing. I cannot, and this is not the only one. We're going to cover all of them here. A lot of people knew about this and did nothing. These groups are unsafe. They protect the people who've been around for many years, protect abusive people. That is why there's multiple victims, and there's more victims to come. As long as nothing is done, as long as abusive people are left to be allowed to be in communities, they will keep going. Okay, I'm going to turn the screen off, and I'm going to try to find, just for you guys, the connection to Fire Mecca, and I'll mention someone else we've got to talk about. Okay, turn the screen off, and we're going to go here to get the Steven's connection to Fire Mecca. Something weird is going on, right? Yeah, my screen share isn't perfectly set up for this. Um, so understand all this stuff is going on like around this time, and so understand Steven knows all the details. He's approached me to say, hey, I'd like to hear your side of the story, which now I understand was, basically fake. How can I share this? I believe that he was just doing information gathering, because why are you gonna come and, you know, say, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help, Dan. I'd like to hear your side of the story. And then when you find out that the owner of Fire Mecca did horrendous stuff, then you just act like you can do nothing about it. Um, so now you're going to see probably why that happened. Um, because, as it turns out, um, this guy that runs these Facebook groups and Instagram groups that we are going to talk about, um, among other people. So I'm just getting this screenshot ready here. Um, this guy is intimately tied to Fire Mecca. And once I saw this, it made sense that he was just sent on this little, like, I don't know what to call it, this little fact finding mission. Um, Never had any intention to actually help me. Um, okay. Display. Okay, I'm going to share. So this screenshot, sorry, this is so janky, but best I can do on the fly. This screenshot is an email. So a lot of those messages you saw were happening in basically between August and November. What's the month before November? October. A lot of the communication I had with Stephen was in October as well. So here is an announcement from Fire Mecca. I can't make this up. This stuff, especially the asking for help, a lot of it was happening in October and early November. Here's a announcement from Fire Mecca, and those communications were happening with that Stephen guy. He knew everything. He was aware of everything: the threats, the assault, the abuse. Did nothing. This I'm going to show you is an announcement from Fire Mecca, the company. I can't make this up. November. What did I say? A lot of those communications were happening in October and November. Message from Fire Mecca. We're all about community. What did I say? What did I say before? Fire Mecca is going to go on this community arc. Now that they've been exposed as terrible, run by a terrible person, a misandrist, self-reported misandrist. They're gonna go on their community arc. We're about community and safety, right? But we share people's address online. And if you don't like guns, too bad for you. Come to the circus farm for fire spinning. I've been here. I met people at this circus farm before all this happened. Follow our YouTube channel, by the way. Okay, so what's going on here? I'll zoom in a little bit more for you. Special shout out. So they had this big fire spinning jam, community, whatever that means to these people. Nothing. Every time you see the word community, remember it's fake. They don't give a crap about community. We want to thank everyone who joined us at our fire spinning event. Oh, are you sure about that? Or are you just waiting to threaten more people? We can watch all the videos they posted about this stuff publicly. I mean, I don't even know. As far as I know, these people don't give any crap about consent. Steven goes around filming, live streaming all the people that show up at his community events. He never asks permission. He never says, hey, or announces, by the way, if you show up to Papa Go Jam, you're going to be live streamed. He never asks any of the people, any of the women, permission for any of that. And this company posted a ton of people. Who knows? These people are all together, okay? Who knows? Maybe they never asked anyone's consent. But they posted a ton of videos. So, anyways, the point of this is, so here we have a shout out goes to our amazing leaders. Our amazing leaders. What did we just see earlier? Stephen, I'm not a leader. You're talking to you're barking up the wrong tree. After he came to me specifically to say, you know, I do mediation. I'm hoping this doesn't go further. And I'd like to hear your side of the story. That's what he approached me twice in person. Why, if you're not a leader, why are you doing that? Acting like you care about the community. Steven Schaefer, this is that guy. That's Fire Mecca, right? This is an announcement from Fire Mecca. See? Fire Mecca, Fire Mecca. Oops. Fire Mecca. Community. Watch out if you go to a Fire Mecca event, they don't give a crap about you. Culture and community. I told you guys. I told you guys on this channel, they're going to go on their community arc because they know they screwed someone over. That's Fire Mecca. Everyone who joined us, Fire Mecca, at this location, special shout out goes to that's Fire Mecca, our amazing jam leaders, Marvin, Melanie, and Steven Schaefer. Where he just said, I'm not a leader, leave me out of this. But Steven knew about all this stuff. Steven knew about the gun threats, the assault, the doxing. He already knew about this and still said, you know what? I'll show up and be a jam leader for Fire Mecca. My message is, I'm like, something's going on where people here are protecting abusers. They're protecting people who assault, dox, harm other people. And first, it's one thing if you're just going to say, I'm not sure I have the energy for this. Okay, sure. And do you know anyone else? You know anyone else, Stephen? Silence. What do you do when someone is harmed in your community? That's the thing, it's not a community. This is not a community. I'll talk about that in another video. So our amazing jam leaders, that's Fire Mecca. So Steven Schaefer is one of Fire Mecca's amazing jam leaders. Put right in their publication. This is anyone who's subscribed to Fire Mecca. Steven Schaefer is one of their leaders who didn't give a crap about community safety. Says, I don't have time for this, but runs many Instagram, Facebook pages to attract fire spinners to come to this kind of stuff. Probably promoted this event for Fire Mecca. This guy wants to start this community garden. No morals. He has no moral compass. Knew everything. I went to him for help. He knew everything about what the owner of Fire Mecca did to me. And after that, still must have been approached and said, Steven, would you like to help with our Fire Mecca event? And he goes, yeah, sure. No problem. As I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. We got to talk about Melanie, who's involved in this. We got to talk about Marvin, who's also involved in this. And we'll leave it at that. Some of the other videos are already just kind of waiting to be uploaded.